let's talk about some of the best teams and rotations you can make using LR Physical Gogeta. If you want to see this video for Broly and for Beast or even the Gammas in part 2, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out. Let's hop straight into it. The one thing I'll mention really quick is you can easily run this guy as a lead. Movie heroes, not superheroes. Movie heroes, 3 key 200% is it's so powerful because there's so many great characters that are on this category, but he also has access to a lot of very strong categories here that you can also form very strong team rounds, especially when you consider a lot of the EZAs that are arriving in this celebration. So there isn't really one definitive best team for Gogeta. There's just so many different setups that I want to expose you to, so that way you can choose any which one, or maybe try multiple and see which ones work best for you. Let's go over to the teams here, and let me go all the way up here and scroll all the way to the beginning. So the first one I kind of want to discuss, the first 3 characters you can see here will be like your main rotation characters, and then the last 3 will be like the floating characters. So let's assume that we're going to run a double Gogeta lead. We can run our physical Gogeta linked alongside the STR Gogeta. They will be sharing 5 out of 7 links, by the way. And then we can link the friend LR physical Gogeta, of course, with our Int Super Saiyan trio here. Of course, is a movie hero setup, and with those 2 main rotations, the 3 floaters would of course be our Spirit Bomb Absorb Goku, creating rainbow orbs. Of course, very strong. We have AGO Pikkon here. Now, of course, you don't have to run Pikkon. You're going to see different iterations of this team. There's so many different options you have, but I wanted to throw Pikkon in here just in case, because I still value this character, and not only the ability to kind of act as like a ghost usher for a turn, which I think is very strong, but I always find it super easy to activate the all allies 2 key and 30% to stats with 3 or more type key spheres obtained, and with some orb changers on the team, I think that could be really easy. And then of course, with at least getting 1 rainbow orb, getting that extra key for yourself as well as a high chance to dodge, I think is just very valuable. Then of course, we already know how good this Goku is. Definitely has aged quite a bit, but I think having damage reduction support is still incredibly strong. So you don't have to run these 3 specifically, but these are options. More options you can run on the Movie Heroes team would be, let's say, this STR Piccolo here. This guy, of course, is absolutely great, guarding all attacks. More damage reduction for this character, and of course a super class support makes him a very good slot 3 option. And another option that you can potentially even consider would be something like this Tech Carnival Goku here. Now this guy definitely needs to stack a little bit, but on a turn, or just having a character that can revive, period, is very ensuring. And once this character goes ahead and actually revives, being able to have that guaranteed guard in slot 3, of course, is incredibly strong. So you're really just putting him on the team for that utility, the revive utility, and having guard in the last slot. A lot of times you're running your best characters in slot 1 and slot 2, so having a good slot 3 can make your team that much more formidable. But again, Movie Heroes has so many different options, and the best linking partners for physical Gogeta on the Movie Heroes team really are the Super Saiyan trio, right alongside this LR STR Gogeta. You do have some other decent linking partners, like the OG Transforming Fusion Reborn or Fusing Tech Gogeta, who also heals, but that unit is kind of outdated now. You do have some other movie hero options, but nothing too crazy. So I would say if you want to run Gogeta as your lead and some decent linking partners, you'd probably want STR Gogeta, which if these 2 would make an insanely busted turn, by the way. And then of course the Super Saiyan trio here, with some decent, you know, slot 3 rotational supports and utility characters. Then we can say, you know what, let's run a Super Saiyans team instead of a Movie Heroes team. And that opens up things a lot more, because now you're not limited to a specific, you know, characters from the movies. There's a lot more Super Saiyans in the game than there are movie heroes in the game, and this is just one example of how that could look. So you have your, let's say you have your leaders, the Super Saiyan trio here. linked alongside, of course, your Gogeta. And then you can run your friend Super Saiyan Trio with literally any of these characters you want, linking up a lot better, of course, with the, I think they share 7 out of 7 links with the Super Saiyan Absorb Goku here, Spirit Bomb Absorb Goku. And they also share a lot of links with Carnival Goku and even future Gohan here. But the reason why I set it up like this is because Super Saiyan Trio linked alongside Spirit Bomb Absorb Goku is just a lot of key and a lot of attacks you're going to be experiencing. Having this Carnival Goku in the last slot with damage reduction, of course, is good. You also have support. 50% defense is, of course, very, very strong. And then I like having these two in the last slot. They aren't the craziest characters in terms of just straight utility, but I find all the attacks this character can do and the crazy amount of damage reduction this character can also do or have in slot 3 can provide that extra support or security. You can also format it something like this, again running Carnival Goku on this team, again for the revive and the guard, or even something like this where you say, you know what, I want God Goku on the team because God Goku is a physical orb changer for the first 6 turns. Now you do need to collect those orbs with physical God Goku, because if you don't, you're not going to be able to get the buffs that he gets, like guarding and stuff like that, which definitely does suck. But on a team with, another prominent physical character, sometimes maybe that could be worth the sacrifice. And of course, this AGL Gohan here is a very solid support. Being able to give all allies, 2 key and 30% of stats, and then an extra 1 key and 10% for superclass allies when all allies are superclass. So it literally, your entire team is superclass here. So basically, you're getting 3 key and 40% of stats with this Gohan on the team. And honestly, this character isn't the tankiest or the greatest character of all time, but definitely an option if you don't. And you can mix and match these teams here, right? Let's say you don't want Carnival Goku and you really want God Goku, so you can put God Goku on the team, maybe sub out this Gohan and put, put this Gohan on the bench and bring this guy in for some playing time. You can definitely get that, there's just so many. Look, if I go ahead and show you the Super Saiyans team here, it's just, you just have so many options. You can also run some, let's say you only have one Gogeta. I mean, of course you can have one Gogeta. Of course, let's say you're not running Gogeta as lead, so you only have one on the team. You can get away with running some other rotations, right? This Gohan has shares 7 links with Namek Goku if you have him, with Carnival Goku, I believe maybe 6 out of 7 links, 7 links with Super Absorb Goku here. So there's just so many cohesive characters on this team that if you don't want to try these specific builds I'm showing you, you can again just switch out some characters and say, you know what, I might want to try this character instead, or this character instead. Another thing I want to mention is this team, the Superheroes team. That's why I got confused earlier in the video. I only have 2 characters here, because the options, and I want to build this with you, in the middle of the video, the options for superheroes is actually insane. These 2 guys will be getting easy A's in part 2, I believe, of the anniversary. I have to double check. I think it is part 2. That is an insane rotation, an insane team already. Orange Piccolo brings a lot of utility. Gogeta is just goated. And then, of course, we have these 2. Number 2 and number 3 when they first came out. It's just that they just provide so much value. This character is also getting an easy A later in the celebration. We know that these 2 goats already have their easy A's on the same rotation. They are doing a lot of damage respectively. Sorry about that. STRUI with his recent easy A. Why are you SA22? Hello? Why? What's going on here? I got caught lacking. I'll do some pushes after the stream. Or what? My brain is still rotted from the stream last night. My bad. You can rock STRUI Goku alongside AGL UI, a pretty good dodging rotation if you ask me. You can get away with running this character, a very strong support that you can float him off, and when he's on the turn with Gogeta, being able to have, what is it 50, let me see here. Yeah, 3 key. No, hold on. Yeah, all allies 3 key and 60% of defense is just insane. And then him having all that damage reduction and extra defensive support makes him a good, decent slot, option in slot 3 as well. You also have access to God Goku whenever you're facing a movie bosses, or was it pure Saiyan? Yeah, movie bosses are pure Saiyan's enemy. He's just not taking damage. It's just how he works. You can also get away with running the gamma rotations on here. There's just so many options that you can get away with. I do highly recommend you try this team out. And you can also switch with Gohan. I'm not the biggest fan of that. I just think Piccolo, utility wise, and just as active skill, is just gonna give you a lot more usefulness as you're going through whatever event you're going through, right? So keep that in mind. You also do have physical Trunks here. Again, not by himself, not really the craziest option, but also the gods here are getting an EZA during the 10th anniversary, something just to consider. But as you can see, this team is not only really good now, but a lot of EZAs and buffs coming in the future. Tech UI will also be here as well, so this is a team to really look out for. You can build this team really, honestly, however you want. And as long as there's some cohesion, you're really not going to... it's going to be really hard to mess up a team like this. And then I also wanted to... I wanted to try and get Bulma on the same team with Gogeta. And the issue I originally had was, look, there's really no... the links aren't really, you know? And so I said, okay, what leader could I bring that brings both of these together? And when we take a look at our GOAT right here, not our GOAT, I'm not going to say GOAT because I'm not, you know, the biggest fan of this character, you know? But being that he is a Power Beyond Super Saiyan lead and an extra 30% to Realm of Gods, that does mean that Gogeta does have access to the 200%, but also... this character is giving 3 key and 150% to Superclass, which means you can not only bring LR Bulma on this team with the multi-turn support, but like I mentioned with the other team, if I just go to Superclass, the options here are essentially unlimited. Granted, you're not going to have access to the insane lead if you just bring any random Superclass unit, but you can literally build whatever team you want here. And as long as your rotations are good, you're going to be good to go, right? This is something else that you should definitely consider, definitely take some time to try and build around. And then Vegito having access to, of course, the fusion, and this guy being able to just fuse and all the crazy. It's just, there's just so much going on here that, again, as long as you take some time to build, you can't really go wrong with a team build here. Like, I wanted to go ahead and build this team, but the options here are just incredible. Again, you can run these two if you really wanted to. Honestly, wait a minute. You're on Battle of Fate, right? Yeah, so we have Battle of Fate, and what was the other few categories here? Battle of Fate. Yeah, so these guys do fit under the 170. That's a very strong team, if you ask me. And then you can, you know what? You know, I want to support in the third slot, so you can say, go ahead and give me Carnival Goku. Or you could put Future Gohan in there. Kai Goku, not a support per se, but I think really, really good. So, low-key underrated. Not like the best character of all time, definitely, but, you know, pretty underrated. You can meme around and have Tech Ultimate Gohan on the team as well. There's just, again, so many options here. But first, I would say, you know what? Let's go ahead and explore the Super Saiyans team. If you have the Super Saiyan trio, or if you pulled Gogeta, you can run the Gogeta team with these characters I'm showing you here. Again, I think the best rotations for Gogeta would, of course, be your Gogeta with one of these two, and then the friend Gogeta with whichever one you didn't link up the first Gogeta with some other movie hero support characters. And then, of course, when it comes to the Super Saiyan team, there's just so many options. You, again, can't really go wrong, especially if you follow some sort of similar build like this. And then if you want to get really creative, I'd say put the blues in slot 1, get Gogeta on the team and run whatever other superclass character you can muster. And then the same thing with you. Go ahead and, you know, run superheroes team, put Piccolo on the team, put Gogeta on the team, and see what you really have fun with. Keep in mind, again, UI Goku, Evolution Blue Vegeta getting an EZA in part 2, or maybe, I think it is part 2, but getting an EZA, those two being as dominant as they are, is going to make this team go absolutely crazy. So imagine you have these two, you have UI Goku and Evolution Blue Vegeta, and, you know, whoever else you want in slot 2 and slot 3, and then again, you're going to be absolutely cooking. Maybe even Tech Pan for the support, right? Anyways, let me know what you think. What team are you going to run? Again, this wasn't a video about the specific team you can run, but since there's so many combinations, so many good categories Gogeta is on, I wanted to go ahead and give you as many possibilities as possible that you can play around with when you are building your team for your Gogeta. Hopefully you enjoyed. I'll see you in the next one. Take care and peace.